Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you have a 2022 Toyota 4Runner and you're looking for something that's going to get real compact and really easy to store in your garage because maybe you don't have a whole lot of space at home, then the Benton ShiftShow is going to be a great option for you. So let's check it out. So I like this option because this is going to be a hanging bike option. And what's great about hanging bike options are that they're very affordable and they can carry a lot of bikes from point A to point B. And the one we have today is working really nicely with our vehicle. A lot of times you're going to get a lot of rotation from your front tire. So even if you're on some really bumpy roads, it does get pretty close. It might make contact, but it's still pretty unlikely. You would have to be on some pretty aggressive roads. But if you really want to limit that, what you can do is just get some type of strap or rope and wrap that around your tire and frame, and then you can definitely put that to a minimum. And this will be able to carry up to 40-pound bikes, and we're going to be able to carry 4 of them. Now, getting those together pretty close might be kind of difficult sometimes, but if you have a lot of bikes or road bikes, those should get on here pretty easy. And what I think is pretty unique about this is it actually still has the ability to tilt away. That's something that's pretty uncommon with hanging style bike racks that have the ability to tilt away with your bike on it. The way you're going to do this is by pulling on this pin here. Once you pull on that pin, you can lower this down. Now just keep in mind this might be a little bit more difficult if you have this fully loaded with bikes. And this will also grant me the ability to open up my hatch and either put away some groceries or some bags, or if I want to, I can get ready for my ride. Either by taking a seat, maybe tying my shoes, grabbing my helmet, whatever you need to do, you'll be able to do it. And once you're done, you can close this back up and put this into the seated position. To do that, all you have to do is lift until it clicks, like that. And if you want to take a closer look at this rack, I'm going to take off my bike. So where I like to start is with this rear strap. So there's going to be a total of 3 of these. And this one is against your frame on the side nearest to your rear tire. What I like about these straps are they're pretty loose, or they have the ability to pivot, so they're not going to get in your way again. And you see, I'm applying some pressure to it, so it's already wanting to move. So you will need to use all 3 of these when you're driving around. And at this point, you can take off your bike. And since this is making frame contact, I don't recommend it for any carbon frame bikes, alternative frame bikes, or any bikes with a really nice paint job. Now, as you can see there, that was a little bit tricky since I do have a cup holder on this. Now, if you have a small frame bike rack or bike and it has that cup holder, I find that is extremely hard to take off of here. So definitely keep that in mind. You might just have to take off that cup holder if need be. But with it off, I can take it out for a ride. Now, if we take a closer look at some of the cradles on there, you'll notice there is some padding, and that padding is going to be great because it's going to help prevent any scratches from occurring on your bike. Just make sure you put all 3 of these back up, and once you have this secured down, we can get a few measurements. So the first measurement I'm going to get is going to be the total distance that sticks out. So if we go from our back bumper to the back of the carrier, that's going to be about 40 inches, which honestly isn't too bad for a bike rack that can carry 4 bikes. Now, if you don't have any bikes on here, you can actually make this more compact, but definitely keep in mind if you have bikes on here, that handlebar is going to stick out a little bit further. But the way we can save space is just by pulling on this pin right here. You might have to lift up on it a bit, but this will fold into itself and become very compact. And now it is only going to stick out about by 18 inches at the very max. So you're saving a lot of space. Now, I'd still keep in mind this is a larger vehicle, so if you're in tighter spots like a garage or a parking spot, make sure you don't make contact with anything. And finally, I just want to make sure we still have enough ground clearance. This is sitting at 17 inches, so there's plenty of space there, and that's due partly because the 4Runner is a little bit of a higher vehicle anyway, so you should be good in that respect as well. Now what I want to look at is how it's interacting in this position on the back of the 4Runner. Now we are going to partially obstruct that license plate. If you add an angle, you'll be able to see it. Same thing for your backup camera. The center will be pretty much blocked, but around it will be visible. I'd still recommend just sticking to using your back window or your mirrors if you are backing up, and your taillights won't be obstructed either, along with your back window. And the way this is going to install is we're going to have this 2-inch shank, and that's going to go into your 2-inch hitch receiver. You're going to have this clip and this nut and anti-rattle bolt, and that's what's going to secure this down. Now I'm going to loosen this up or take it out real quick, just so I can show off the folding feature and how easy this is to remove. It's not going to take me very long. It is important you don't lose this bolt, because that's what's going to secure this into place. Now, we can take this out, and this is a lighter rack compared to some other options out there. The way you're going to do this is just by pulling on this pin, pushing on the shank, and there you have it. This is how much space it's going to take up in your garage. And it's perfect because if you do find yourself just dropping some people off and they're going out riding, you want to take this with you. You don't have to keep it on the back of your vehicle. You can just simply stow it back in the back hatch area and leave it here for whenever you do need it. So that's one thing I am a big fan about this rack, is just how much space it saves you in the long run. Now there's a lot of other options out there that don't take up a lot of space, but I think this one is going to be one of my top choices because it is at such an affordable rate, and the other racks, while they do save space, they don't get as compact as this option. But again, that was a look at the Benton Bike Rack on the back of our 2022 Toyota 4Runner. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.